I feel lots of thoughts and appreciation as to what the community has done with Franklin and what the staff has done at Franklin. And often they wonder the millage when they have different things for the schools. It's well spent. They've done an outstanding job in the schools.
Yeah, so what is the most surprising change that you see now that, wasn't there whenever you were here?
I don't know. Not surprising, but I think everything is better. And I don't know about.
I didn't see any surprising changes. The first physical changes I noticed were the fire doors dividing off areas of the school, which were not there before. And then, of course, they put the elevators in recently, which were new. We didn't have any. We didn't have any back in those days, so that was a major change.
George, you mentioned your classroom and the painting. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what it means to you that it's still there?
Well, this room over here,
Yeah.
it means a lot, and I enjoyed it. It was cool. Before this was air conditioned, that was a good room. If you'd open the door, because it's at the junction of different halls, it was always cool. Mm-hmm. And some of the other rooms, they didn't get much ventilation. But now, with what they've done in the school, every spot in the school is just equally good for the climate and everything.
Have all three of you been back to Franklin over the years since you graduated?
Only for our 50th reunion we were back here, which is 25 years ago. But other than that, I had not been back.
When you come in after that many years, what strikes you? Does it feel like home again, or does it?
It does, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I also got back here because I'm in this is a voting precinct, and I live in this area, so I would get back here to vote, so I would get into the building occasionally, but never as far as, or as deep as we have today.
What kind of memories come back to you when you walk down the hallways today?
I guess people and teachers. You recall walking past a room and, oh yes, such and such teacher was in that room, and I had a hard time or had an easy time in that class.
Okay, anybody else? Do you guys have thoughts?
Having a trophy case, I don't remember having a trophy case. And a lot of the stuff on the walls in the hallway I never seen before. It was always just plain blank. And like now, you just walk down there, there's always something hanging on the walls.
When you graduated or went in, it was probably 12 years old. The school was 19. It was built in 23, so
23.
it was fairly new. Does it?
Yes.
How's it held up?
Oh,
Great, wonderful.
it's better.
Oh,
They've taken great care of this building. They really have.
Yeah.
How did you guys all stay in contact? Because now I have Facebook. I can just Facebook message people I went to high school with. But how did you guys all have each other's phone numbers, that kind of thing?
I think George is the one
culprit.
responsible for this.
Well,
George is the culprit.
yeah. At this time, there have been other culprits in the past.
There have been, yes.
Those charts you saw, Jim Day, ever since we had started with reunions, he kept stuff, and he made those charts. They used them, I think, first at our 50th,
Right?
and it was so interesting for us to see what he had kept and selected, and then to find us. See, we had 128 in our class, and when we first started having reunions, there were people we knew and we made contacts, but there were others we didn't know. And Jim went to the effort of having searches. There'd be a name, and I came across sheets with the same name from people with that name all over the country, and he searched after him. He did a tremendous job, and we benefit by the work he did.
Yeah.
And don't you feel that?
I remember about 3 people he found for us. We couldn't find anything, and somehow Mrs. Williams or whatever, mother was a rose, garden rose leader or something, and we contacted her daughter through the Gazette.
Yeah.
Do the students look different today than they did when you went to school in the hallways?
Yes.
Dressed differently?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, as I mentioned to one of the girls, as I was standing there before we came downstairs, the attire is totally different. Girls didn't wear shorts to school.
Anything else?
I think the kids look more mature today than they did when we were students. And probably rightly so, because there's so much more information available to them now than there was to us many years ago.
What about separate entrances for boys and girls? Were there separate entrances here? Did everyone go in and
Oh,
out?
no.
It says so on over the entrances, but that was never enforced that we know.
That was an original design.
Okay. So classrooms and hallways, everyone was,
They were all mixed.
Yes.
But what girls would probably say, I don't think the girls would go to a gym class if they had to wear the outfits that the girls wore when.
Oh, you're
when-
probably right.
Yeah, the girls had a ugly blue or green, some sort of a outfit that they had to wait. And boy, if they'd be out where others could see them, they would try to avoid being seen.
Yeah.
one last, is there any classes you took that back when you went to school, that they would never offer today? Anything unusual?
Typing.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Well,
because of computers, kids know how to type. So typing wasn't necessarily offered as a class. And besides, there's no typewriters anymore, is what we learned on. Probably most of all the younger kids have never seen a typewriter. So there are some changes. The other change in the school is they don't teach the manual arts. However, well, not all of it was in senior high. Part of it was in junior high. Yes.
Yeah,
So that's
things that we learned how to wire a light.
Yes.
And we all made something out of cement.
Yes.
And we made, the first thing we made in woodworking was a tool that back then when they washed clothes, it'd be in a tub. And the mother would have to try to get something. It was a board with a kind of a U-tube at the end, and if you'd stick it in and you could twist it, you could get something out of the wash tub. But that's what we all had to do. We had to plane it and get it all sanded and learn how to use the various tools. I really think it's a loss, because we did some electricity, we did tin work, and
Well, we also, I made an end table
yes.
in senior high, a nice piece of furniture. My daughter has it now, and she's pretty proud of it. It was turned legs, so we used the lathe. We used the milling machines. We used a lot of the modern machines to make the furniture pieces that we did.
Mm-hmm.